Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'm back and I wanted to look at another 6 scale action figure today. I'm going to be looking at a figure from a third party company that I haven't had anything in from yet, and that figure today is this ToysDao Trunks. Now, ToysDao has done a lot of samurai type stuff. They did a figure with this head sculpt actually in samurai armor. They did a Darth Vader samurai. They did sort of an undead skeleton samurai. So they've been on my radar for a little tiny bit, but I've never actually picked up any of their stuff before. And then I saw this figure floating around in the Facebook groups and thought, well, heck, I'm just gonna hop right on it and see what they're about. So diving into it now, you'll notice that he is on a Art S Buck sort of generic stand there, and that is because his legs are they're not as sturdy as I'd like them to be. They're a little bit loose, and this sword on his back is excessively heavy. Let's take that out real quick. Show the camera. This is just a solid hunk of thick, heavy die-cast metal. So, on his back and his hand, it can really throw the figure off balance, which is why I decided to hook him up with this Art S Buck stand. I might do something like go in there with some grass or snow or sand and sort of make it not a generic display base if I do intend to use it for this figure for much longer. Something sort of like a, not really a diorama, but just to cover up that Art S Buck logo so that it's not as jarring to the eye. But right now, for just the review, I figured I would, throw Trunks on this base and get to talking. So that's what I'm going to do. You'll see that the upper body is a bit more stiff, so it actually can, at the shoulder at least, hold up and support that sword a little bit better. But the wrist and all that, they are honestly just going to pop right out of socket if that sword is held ajar too much. But you can get him in some poses with it. It's not really the end of the world. He comes with your standard assortment of 6 scale hands, fists, couple of gripping hands, couple of trigger fingers, couple of relaxed or splayed out key blasting hands if you want to use them for that. I was just gonna sort of have him like this from his first appearance. So I have one gripping hand and one fist hand on there, and that's how he's probably going to stay in my collection. But without further ado, let's get hopping right into the figure itself and not really the accessories that he comes with. We've got two heads here. On this one, I popped my own extra neck joint in there because it did not come with an extra one. And when you pop this head off the body, it is such a tight fit on there that you will absolutely take the neck joint with you when you pop that head off. So I do suggest having an extra neck joint that you can just shove into the bottom of this alternate head if you're going to be using it. Otherwise, you will be wrestling getting that neck joint out of the top of this head for a little while. And I didn't want to get too liberal with my use of hot water in this guy, because with it being a third-party action figure, usually in the 6 scale market, you're getting a pretty high-quality product. All the paint has been sealed on there real nicely, and you can dunk it in hot water. Dunk a joint in hot water if you need to loosen it up or loosen up a peg system or a socket. But let's get a close-up here on the head. I just wasn't sure about this guy if I really wanted to risk giving it a hot water treatment. The paint does look, especially on the eyes there, like if it flakes off, that's going to muss up pretty much the entire figure. So I didn't want to get too liberal there, and I just got an extra peg out for it. Coming around here, he has a Capsule Logo on the shoulder, which is a very cool little addition. However, it is just kind of a cheapo little sticker on there. It's glued on quite nicely, but over time, will that sticky wear out? I don't really know, so I don't know. But for now, there's a Capsule Logo on his shoulder, which is a nice little detail that I thought I would appreciate. I did not actually notice that on the packaging or the details for this figure, so I'm glad that they included it. I'm going to take off his sword sheath real quick, get a better look at the figure. The head does all the rotation, all the posing that you would like. It's not hindered too much. It is a single solid neck here, and you will notice that the head sculpt and the skin tone on the body, it's not so bad on camera actually, but they do not quite match up perfectly, which, I mean, that's okay. This is sort of based on a fantasy cartoon. We're not going for any sort of realism with this Trunks figure, so not a big deal. But were this supposed to be a more realistic interpretation, then I would be a bit more unhappy. It's on a standard third-party Bruce Lee thin muscular body, which is a pretty good body, I think, for Trunks here. That said, there's no waist crunch. It's just a solid piece of plastic in there. Single jointed elbows, but now with what I've just said, you do get a ton of articulation. And this jacket is actually very well tailored to fit the figure. You get no hindrance to articulation whatsoever, which is really surprising given that it's a somewhat tight form-fitting jacket without any stretch in the material whatsoever. But articulation is not at all hindered, which is nice. Legs, the joints and the knees are really tight, if you could hear that bend, and we get all the way up to 90 degrees at his waist, beyond 90 degrees with his knee here, and it's a double jointed ankle here. Oh, just slips right off, I guess, but a double boot cut right there, so the ankles will do whatever you want them to. The ankle joints are a little bit loose, and the hip joints are a little bit loose as well. This isn't the best third-party body that I've come across, which is another reason why I have him on the stand, especially when I'm posing him with that sword on his back. This figure will be prone to falling over a little bit, but here we go. This is going to be a bit of a quicker review. Just wanted to get this out here in case anyone has seen it or is a Dragon Ball Z fan. Maybe a figure like this is going to get them right in the nostalgia like it did with me, and you're going to want to pick it up and throw it on your shelf. Like I said, ToysDao is a third-party company. Their offerings are fairly inexpensive compared to what you might be used to, even from third-party companies. So you're really not sinking too much if you want to get this guy just to try out what it's going to be like in your collection. I know for a fact it doesn't fit in my collection, but I really just wanted to see what they were all about, see what this figure is all about, and for a little bit of time at least, just enjoy having a 6-scale Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. Now, this in particular is the ToysDao TD-05c, which is a slightly different colorway from the other ones that have more of a yellow paint job on the hair as opposed to this gold one that I've opted for. And there's another one out there that comes with your standard paint job for the hair once again, and also the samurai armor, but they're all meant to be different interpretations of Trunks. There might even be another one out there, which is Trunks from Dragon Ball Super, as opposed to Dragon Ball Z. Comes with a little red bandana tied around his neck and a bit longer of a jean jacket. But this is going to work for me. I just want to have him posed up sort of from his first appearance. He just turned Super Saiyan. No one really even knew his name yet. And he's about to take out his sword and slice Frieza to bits. Right there. That's how he's going to look in my display. And I think that's pretty awesome. Every time I look at it, it's going to bring me back to a specific scene in Dragon Ball Z that I remember. And when I was a kid, just flabbergasted, jaw dropped to the floor. It was awesome. So, one more time, come in here real quick. And that's the figure. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, maybe you've picked up some other ToysDao pieces, I'd love to hear your thoughts about them. If you wanted to get a dialogue going down in the comments, I would be awesome. I am going back to teaching here pretty soon, but I will still absolutely have time to sound off in the comments and get a dialogue going with you. So, until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Bye-bye.